And welcome to Time Warner Arena for tonight's ball game between the Charlotte Bobcats and the San Antonio Spurs, the team who won the West, played for the NBA championship last year. But I tell you what, they had their hands full tonight with the Charlotte Bobcats. The Bobcats played well, but going down the stretch, the experienced Western Division champions were able to make the plays and came away with a 104-100 win tonight.
The key tonight in tonight's game, according to Coach Clifford, was mistakes. You cannot make mistakes against a seasoned team as the Spurs. He said that, we should have been able to play our game a little bit better, but with the mistakes that we made, that's what helped, cost us the game. And of course with Patty, that didn't help any either. He lit it up in the second half.
He sure did. And this is a guy, it's kind of interesting that it was talked about in the locker room there. They were hoping to win jinx. This is the only guy who has not missed a game this year due to injuries. A guy who struggled for playing time last year but had a career high, I think it's a career high, 31. But as Coach Popovich mentioned, this is a guy who has played in the Olympics for his country for many a time, and he said playing in the NBA is no big deal for him, that he was a high scorer, used to score and putting up big numbers, though. But again, and talking with him after the game, very humble young man, and all was saying just tried to stay within the flow of the game, was not even aware how many points or shot attempts right there, but knew he had to step up with them missing some players tonight at the guard position. Ginobili did not play and all, that he had to step up, produce, and again, he was a difference in the game tonight.
He was, and another difference maker tonight was Boris Diaw on Al Jefferson. Getting Boris in front of Al, making him shoot over Boris was a big key tonight that really hindered Al from making these shots tonight.
And again, Coach Popovich, after the game, a man of few words, but actually had many words to say tonight, although his interview was done before Coach Clifford's even started. That's how quick he is right there, though. But he mentioned that the thing that Diaw brings is playing in front, to where it was trouble getting Jefferson the ball there. When he got it, he was forced to take shots a little bit further away from the basket. And the question was asked for him, too, was, with all the pump fakes Jefferson gives you, he will give you a variety of looks. He is a master of pump fakes and stuff like that. How do you keep your feet and not leave your feet and let him go around? And he did a great job of that, but he just stood his ground playing good defense. And Jefferson still put up, I think, 26 points tonight, which was a good night. But the thing is, he had a huge first half. He had like 16 in the first. He had 12 in the first quarter. Yeah. And I think he had 16 in the first half, and then was quiet, pretty much until the stretch going down the fourth quarter. Got a few baskets, though. But the Bobcats, and I think that was a turning point in the game for them, when they lost the lead and got behind, it's because Jefferson was not getting many touches or looks.
That is correct. And Henderson was talking about Boris, and that Boris was a big difference tonight on Jefferson, and he wished Boris good luck and well wishes with the Spurs tonight.
It was interesting. I had a chance to talk to Boris because he was one that I liked when he plays here. He's still got Charlotte ties, that I think he's still one of the owners of Mortimer's here in town, and I think another business too, because he said, I got to make this quick. I've got to go check on two businesses tonight. So he had to go over there. So I don't know if he had a party at Mortimer's tonight or what was going on there, but the question was asked, how did it feel being booed coming back into Charlotte? And he said he loved his time playing in Charlotte, that he had great memories of playing here. He had good seasons in here. He said, unfortunately, his final year as a Bobcat was not a good year because there was difference in philosophies with the coaching staff at that time, that basically they were not on the same page, as he put it right there, though, that he was honest. He got demoted, sat on the bench, was inactive, didn't dress and all like that, though. But he has been a very good pickup for San Antonio. Gone over there, played well for them, and he played well here too until the final year. But in the revolving door of coaches with the Bobcats back during that time, with basically coaches, some of them that were not the world's best coaches, he didn't fit in. And he was very classy anyway. He handled the situation. Said he got some boos last year, got more this year, but said no, that didn't affect his game. He didn't let it motivate him in any way. He didn't let it distract him in any way. He just went out and tried to play his game.
Yeah, and it was an exciting game tonight, back and forth, right up till the end, until Patty got hot and started taking off with his 32 points tonight. But the defense played hard. Offense was great. I hate they come up 4 points short, 100 to 104, but hey, they're getting there.
And then looking at the stats right here, I'm going to glance over your shoulder here at the stat sheet. For the Bobcats tonight, Alfred Jefferson had 26, 23 for Gerald Henderson, 18 for Kimball Walker, and 10 for Ramon Sessions. One thing that kind of jumps at me right here is free throws. 8-point difference at the free throw line. That the Spurs were 24 for 28, while the Bobcats were only 16 for 22. Close game right there. That was big. One thing I'm looking at, noticing right now, tonight's game was a sellout, 19,084. Huge crowd tonight, though. The emphasis was on the Bobcats. Should I say the Horncats, calling them now. And I think you want to hold up a box right there. It was Dale Curry bobblehead night. Dale Curry was one of my favorite all-time Hornets of all times. Him and Muggsy Bogues have to go down there. Dale Curry, I'm glad he still works with the team, though. But, you know, it was a kind of a Hornet theme tonight and kind of, you know, brought back the days of the excitement there with the way they played. But, you know, you don't play for moral victories. This team right now is now 22-29. They're still in the playoff hunt. The Spurs have got a great record. They're 37-14, got the best road record in the NBA, though. But, again, Charlotte is showing they can play with anybody in the NBA.
They sure can. They kept up with them tonight. I mean, the Bobcats jumped out to a 25-21 lead in the first, and then they stayed with them, tied it in the third, 28-all, and then all of a sudden in the fourth, it was just all the Spurs from then on.
Looking at the Spurs scoring tonight, they were led in scoring by Patty Mills. And when you said hot Patty tonight, you're making me hungry. Think of hamburgers with that. He ought to be playing for the Fighting Irish or some kind of team, although I think he's from Australia, I believe, right there, though. But he sounds like he ought to be playing for an Irish team, Patty Mills, or he'd be great on St. Patrick's Day. But scoring tonight, he had 32 points, 15 tonight for Nato DiColo, which I said that sounded like some kind of procedure you'd have at a doctor's office right there. 16 points for Tim Duncan, and Boris Diaw chipped in with 13 points. So again, the defending Western Division champions with good balanced scoring tonight, though. But again, it came down to the difference in the game tonight was Patty Mills. That every time they needed a basket, they needed a free throw, he stepped up and gave them a good game.
He did. He was 10 from 13 on tonight, 4 from 5 from the three-point line, and 8 of 9 on the free, the charity stripe as we call it. So yeah, he was hot all the way around tonight.
Bobcats have had a little bit of a layoff. They will be home again next Tuesday as the Dallas Mavericks come to town. Hopefully they can get this game in. Weather could be coming in on Tuesday night, but still, you've got time to come to the game, get back home. I can probably make it back to Spartanburg before it does anything, beforehand. But Bobcats are playing, and this, I think, is your first chance to see them this year's live. Correct right here. What's your impressions?
I'm very impressed with them. I love the defense. They're more focused now. They are more athletic, too. I really enjoyed watching them tonight. And I've been enjoying watching them on television, too. But to be here with the crowd and the new excitement that they have with the Hornets coming back next year is really made this game enjoyable.
And again, this is an NBA team now. We saw them play. You sat through all those games with me when they were basically a D-League team and all, that it was painful to watch. But this crowd is fun to watch play because they, you hate to see them lose. Again, you don't play for moral victories, but they are very competitive and they're fun to watch.
They are. I mean, better on defense, trying to get steals. I mean, tonight they were just – in terms of, offense and defense, in terms of rebounds tonight, they were a total of 34 defensive rebounds. You would have never seen that in previous teams.
And again, I've made this comment before. I think they have a great coaching staff right now. I know Larry Brown had a great staff when he was here, but I think they have reassembled a great coaching staff with Coach Clifford. He has got a class and quality group of assistant coaches, and I think this team's only going to get better. You predicted 36 wins and all. There's still a chance on that, though, but they've already surpassed their wins for last year. And again, this point in the season or 2 years ago, it was over. Yeah. It was basically over. We knew that when the first substitution came in, though, but this team can play with anybody on any given night and can beat. I mean, that's evident that they swept Golden State this year, who will be a playoff team out of the West right there, though. But again, not the result we wanted tonight. The San Antonio Spurs come in and get a 104-100 victory, but we look forward to seeing Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks come to town on Tuesday.
And you was talking about a difference in the team, too. When you look at points in the paint tonight, Bobcats had 50 points in the paint. You would have never seen that in previous teams. And another thing too, I was just amazed at watching Coach Clifford on the sidelines, constantly coaching. Never a time when he was taking a break. He was always out there showing them what they were doing wrong, setting offense, showing them where they need to go. It was great.
And there were times, too, that he was up. I loved it, giving officials an earful. When there were times last year I was screaming at Coach Dunlap, get off your tail and defend your team and all. But I love the job he does coaching. I like how his talks after the game. You got to hear him tonight while I was going over to the other side right there, though. But again, I think the Bobcats have found a good coach. I think as they move into the transition from the Horncats to the Hornets next year, I think the future is bright for this franchise and this team.
It is very bright. And next year, if they keep the roster they've got tonight, right now, they will make it to the playoffs next year.
And they should have, I think, with it coming up, some more salary cap money and should have some good draft choices. Hopefully can strengthen this roster and to make it even better, though. But that's going to wrap it up tonight for Time Warner Arena. Good to have Alan Knight, my right-hand man, sitting back in the seat with me today. Good to have you back tonight.
I enjoyed it. Great to be back. Hope to see some more.
We hope to get you back again right there, but we're not going to burn you out right now. Alan has been slowing his pace down a little bit. I know y'all have wondered where Alan's been, though, but he's just medically cutting back or physically having to cut back right now on his travels and stuff, though. Doctors kind of suggested some things like that for him, though, but every chance we can get him to come to the game, we're going to see what we can do, work it in his schedule right now, but you got to take care of your body.
That's right. You sure do.
And hopefully I'm going to learn that one day before I croak that maybe you'll rub off on me.
I've been trying my best.
It's been fun. It's been fun tonight, though, but I'll be back after the game on Tuesday to give you our wrap-up tonight. Again, your final score tonight was San Antonio 104, Charlotte 100. That's going to wrap it up tonight. Our show tonight has been brought to you by our friends at the Beacon Drive-In, by also Concoction Ministries, by Larry's Trophies, by the West Side Club, by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, though. We appreciate all these people, and also Vic Bailey Volkswagen. We thank you for making these broadcasts possible, and we'll be back with a wrap-up of the Dallas-Charlotte game on Tuesday night. Until then, have a good weekend, everybody. Adios.